Coffee in here, please.
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Good morning, folks. It's a Thursday. It's Thursday. It's not just a Thursday. It's Holy Thursday. Holy Thursday. March 28th, 2024. Holy Thursday. Or some people call it Monday Thursday. Monday Thursday, which sounds kind of like Monday Thursday, which was really confusing, but it's not. It's Monday Thursday. And GD would say Monday Thursday. He's not here today, by the way, so we can make all the fun of him we want. We could say anything we want about him, and he will never hear it because when they're not on the show, people don't really pay attention. I find this to be true. So also, I'm not sure if Willie's ever coming back, so we could just kind of just make fun of him all day long. But Holy Thursday, Batman. What does it mean? Well, it's hard for me to wrap my head around why some of these Christian like Good Friday tomorrow. Good? I don't know. Isn't that the day they beat him? That started whipping him and beating him and torturing him. That doesn't sound good. Are you sure you want to call it Good Friday? How about just Torture Friday? I don't know. But Thursday, Holy Thursday, is the commemorative of the Last Supper of Jesus Christ. Holy Thursday, he had supper with 12 guys when he established the sacrament of Holy Communion prior to the arrest for his crucifixion. So basically, here's the wine, here's the bread, and all that kind of stuff, and that makes the Holy Thursday that it is. Holy Thursday. Hope you're feel a little more educated now. Speaking of educated, the one guest we have scheduled for today at 10:15 claims to have 140 IQ, which that makes us have something in common. I have a 40 IQ, and he has 140 IQ. Now, I don't know what that. He's a genius. Oh my goodness, he's a genius. I'm not big on these numbers, quantifying IQ and intelligence and all that stuff, and how we arrive at all that stuff. I think the tests are skewed a little. Listen, I took a lot of those tests in grade school, and I did very well on them, and I was no genius. I mean, but to be honest with you, here's something I've never told anybody before. I've probably told people this before. I was bored with those tests, and I was just filling in dots. I just coloring in stuff. I wasn't even paying attention to the question. The way it happened, the way they did these tests when I was in school, It would be five dots across, and you'd color in the dot that matched the multiple choice answer on whatever paper they gave you. I didn't even read the paper. I was just coloring and doing it really quick. So I'd be done really fast, and somehow, uh, yeah, if only I could transfer those skills to filling out a lottery ticket, life would have been a lot different. But so they thought I might be a genius, but obviously, I was an idiot. There you go with that. But so Eric McHugh claims to have a IQ of 140. We're going to ask him how he came to that. Was he just coloring dots? I have a feeling he was just coloring dots. Now, maybe not. He owns a company called ShopX, and I'll just give you a little bit of what he's into. Dataing, not dating, dataing or dataing. By the way, how do you say DATA? Do you say data, or do you say data? This is a thing we should really uh, come to an agreement on once and for all, because people are all over the place with this data, dataing, matching couples. It's like a dating app. Dataing is well, he's using it for a dating website. He's involved in what is known as Web 3, which I'm still on Web 1. I didn't even know there was a Web 2. Nobody told me about Web 2, but he's already on Web 3. This is how much of a genius he is. Um, so he's a 30-year-old entrepreneur who's involved in dataing, Web 3, Bitcoin, and he's a positivity guy. What it says in his this is what his publicist bio says. His intention is to spread as much positivity as possible. Well, if you know me, I'm Mr. Negativity. And we have a Mr. Positivity on the show already. That's Stephen Sitcom Ortiz. And Willie is like one of these fake positivity guys. He's a guy who just talks the talk and doesn't walk the walk. He likes to put up the memes of, yeah, you can do it, but then I'm going to smoke a joint and not do it. Or I'm just going to lay around the airport for a couple of days. That's not being Mr. Positivity. But Stephen Ortiz is our resident positivity coach. And surprisingly, I like him because he walks the walk even though he doesn't walk. Walks the talk even though he doesn't walk the walk at all. He talks the walk. You know what I'm trying to say. Listen. I got a 40 IQ. What am I going to say? Anyway, so he's a positivity guy. He's got a present mantra. Do you have a present mantra? I don't have a present mantra. How did this? Well, I guess you have to have a really high IQ to get a present mantra. He has a present mantra. Um, it's I do what I feel like. Oh no, that's his present motto. Hold on. His present mantra is as above, so below, as within, so without. I got to think about that. So without. Present motto: I do what I feel like, and I trust anything is possible. I don't trust anything is possible. Listen, I know everything is possible. No, I'm sorry. The Easter Bunny is not real. It's not possible. It's not possible that we have a 6-foot bunny running around, hiding Easter eggs in your house, and the dog doesn't even bark. It's not possible. I'm getting angry. I got to calm down. Uh, he's got a present inner purpose. No, it's still a lot of presents for this guy. Uh, present raise the collective level of consciousness. Uh-oh. This is not going to go well. Even though I want to be a nice guy and I'm not going to be rude to him, but you know me. You know me. I'm Mr. Negative. I can't raise the level of consciousness. Define consciousness before we raise the level. And if you ask 8 billion people what to define consciousness, you'll get 8 billion different answers. I could go on and on with this guy, but so it should be an interesting conversation. He's quoting people like Tesla and Einstein and stuff that's above my head, my bald head. Just a couple of things in the news here I want to kind of touch on. This representative from Michigan, Matt Maddock, posted a picture of what he claimed were buses loaded up with illegal immigrants at the Detroit Metro Airport. Basically, it's a basketball team headed to the Sweet 16, March Madness. Oops. Kind of stupid. So there's that. If you can't tell the difference between migrants and your basketball team, your potentially championship basketball team, your glasses are as bad as mine. That's all I'm going to say about that. Larry David on CNN talking about Trump. You got to love Larry David. No, let me just pull up this quote, because I love the quote. Somebody should have been saying this all along. Larry David on Trump. He's such a little baby that he's thrown 250 years of democracy out the window by not accepting the results. He's such a sociopath. He's so insane. He just couldn't admit to losing. And we know he lost. He knows he lost, but he's such a sick man. Larry David. Somebody needs to be saying that every day, as loud as possible, to as many people that can hear, because it's the absolute truth. As I mentioned, GD's not here today, but we do have Ron Kane, who is mind-numbingly funny, and his humor is addictive. That's why he's Ron Kane. And we have Stephen, the sitcom, my talk the talk positivity coach. Good morning.
Good morning. Since GD
Good morning.
Isn't here, Mind Dog TV. When you need to stop a show every 3 minutes with a terrible line, Mind Dog TV.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, I mean,
That was good.
Holy Thursday, that was a good line. No, are you guys into the whole? Do you understand this whole Christian week here? Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Resurrection Sunday. Well, nothing happened on Saturday.
Saturday. I imagine Saturday was just cleanup from Friday.
Well, they couldn't come up with a name, right? It was, they had Holy Thursday. That's good. Good Friday. What do we got for Saturday?
Spring cleaning.
Yeah, my wife, she's Catholic, but she doesn't really do anything about it. So I know of the day, but if you wouldn't have told me, I wouldn't have known tomorrow's Good Friday.
Right. So today is a day that made the Catholic, that whole communion thing, and the bread and the wine. So if it weren't for today, there would be no. I don't know. There would be no Catholicism. It wouldn't have the ritual that it has. I never got that, the Holy Communion stuff. I got beat. Well, I raised Catholic. I bailed out right after my first communion, but the nuns, I had brand new sneakers on, and we were rehearsing for the Holy Communion, walking around the church floor that had just been waxed, and my sneakers were squeaking on it. And I just remember the nun yelling out, "Who's squeaking?" And I was like trying to hide, but I couldn't. Every step I took, I squeaked. And I was trying to hide that, and then she finally caught me. She kind of singled it out, and then gave me a beating with a yardstick. I was like, I'm out of here. I mean, we're practicing for something that's supposed to be holy and good, and here I am taking a beating for just having sneakers on that squeak.
Well, the squeaky wheel always takes the beating.
Right, absolutely. Did you perform last night? Did you do something last night?
No, I did not. Last night was writing. Was a writing night for me.
Oh, I'm off by a day, right? Yesterday was Wednesday. Tuesday night you have the open, the doghouse thing.
Yeah, Tuesday night we did the doghouse, and we had some audience members come out, so that was good. So it's a Tuesday mic, so sometimes we'll have one audience member, one time we'll have a group of audience members, or sometimes we'll have none. It's always a roll of the dice.
You guys know your IQ? Do you know your IQ?
No.
How stupid do you have to be to not even know your IQ? Uh, I don't know. I don't really know my IQ
No one's
either.
ever called me smart enough to test it.
No, you you had to take the test, but obviously, what happened when you guys took the test? Because you probably did it the right way, not like
You
me,
know,
just coloring the
if
dots.
if I remember correctly, because I was in a wheelchair, so I had to have like a special education plan and all that shit. They made me do the test, and I'm pretty certain I did very similar to the same thing. Was I just drew patterns in the dots?
But yeah, so basically, you're just not as lucky as I am, or weren't as lucky as a little kid with your dots.
I
Uh,
don't even know if I ever found out the results. I
I
think my
was
parents did, but
No, but if you were like a lotto player, an extraordinary lotto player, gifted lotto player, like I was at that age, they would have came out and said, "Oh my God, look, he did this in a half hour. You got an Einstein on your hands." And basically, I was anything but an Einstein. I was like a Stein, or if that. So I was not. But they tried to, skip me ahead, and all that kind of stuff. I was, but all my life, this is the problem with me. I was very good at taking tests, but I really didn't know what I was fucking doing. I was passing tests and acing tests, kind of stoned out of my mind. I went in to take the SAT, the Scholastic Aptitude Test, which is a college entry exam, and I took it in 45 minutes. It was an 8-hour test. I took it in 45 minutes. And the biology teacher I had in 10th grade was one of the monitors. And he said to me as I was finishing, he said, "There's no way you could have taken this test in 45 minutes and done well on it. Don't you want to sit back down?" I said, "No, I'm done. I was fucking bored. Plus, I was stoned out of my mind. It was 8 o'clock in the morning, and I already smoked like 5 joints before I went in. So I just buzzed through the test, and then I was in the top 1% of the entire country in the results of this. And my my SAT score was so good that colleges would take me despite the fact that I hadn't really done anything in high school. I missed high school completely. So
That happens to people though, where they like completely like tank in high school, but then they manage to get to college, then they like excel.
right, yeah. But I'm not a big believer in testing intelligence and being able to quantify it because there's all sorts of different kind of intelligence. I mean, I know people who are not really book smart at all or not good with facts or anything like that, but they can figure things out like a car engine pretty quickly. And so there's different kinds of intelligence, and so people who try to quantify that and walk around with a number. I'm going to be a little negative for this positive schpositive guy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
Daniel Tosh has a joke where it's where people are like, "I'm not a good test taker," and it's like, "You mean you're stupid? You mean when we go to test you about the stuff you're supposed to know?"
Tosh is great. I really feel bad that he's not. Well, he does a podcast, but it doesn't get like big numbers. He's not
He's
killing
what?
it.
I'm
Yeah, he's
surprised he gets any numbers in today's atmosphere.
Yeah. Um, the Larry David stuff. Do you appreciate it? Now, does it make a difference that somebody like Larry David, who does have a considerable following, not a Taylor Swift following, but there are people who love that. Curb is one of the greatest comedies around, and I know lots of Trumpers who are huge Curb fans. That Larry David comes out and says, the simple truth. He's a fucking baby who just can't take that he lost. I think that's important that people say that, but will it make a difference? Will people hear, "Oh, now they'll just hate Larry David"? What do you think?
well, he had that episode on the last season, I believe, where he went to that restaurant and he was wearing the MAGA hat so people wouldn't sit by him. Like, I don't want anyone to sit by me, so I'll wear this hat because they kept driving people away.
Yeah, yeah. I could definitely get that. I mean, I wouldn't sit with a guy. I wouldn't sit near a guy with a red hat too. I would purposely stay away from him. Uh, I'm a little, yeah, I'm a lot concerned about the country, obviously, but uh, I'm thinking RFQ is definitely throwing a monkey wrench into the whole fucking thing, and I'm not sure which way he's throwing that monkey wrench in, but it does seem like maybe it's just overstated, and I'm too much paying attention to too many people on Twitter who are Hollywood elites, because it seems like everybody in California, everybody in the Hollywood, Southern California area, is on the RFQ train. And I think I'm not sure he's taken away from Biden. I think he's taken more away from Trump, but I don't know that. And it's hard to know that, So I don't know what's going to happen, but
Yeah, I don't know. I think as it gets closer and closer, it seems like the wheels are slowly coming off that bus already, especially since that VP nomination that he had. Because
but
even his base is really not that excited about the VP.
well,
Yeah.
on Twitter, the Hollywood elites are they're calling that a home run, and what he couldn't have picked a better VP person. I'm like, really? I
Yeah,
could have.
the person funding your campaign.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. But Chris Christie was offered money from the it's kind of, I think, the Lincoln Project, but they're calling themselves something else, like No Labels Party, but I think it's pretty much the Lincoln Project people. But Chris Christie's turned it down. He said no, if because he said, I'm not going to win, and all it's probably going to do is help Trump in some way, and I'm not going to be part of helping him in any way, which is good for Chris Christie. I've never, I'm not a fan of Chris Christie, but that's a good thing. It shows he has some spine behind all that. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
Sure.
And he knows about bridges too.
he does.
He does know about bridges.
Maybe how quickly that just went away. Now, it was, I'm thinking about this before. Like when I get up in the morning and I turn on Twitter and I see a boat crashing into a bridge. At least I got something to talk about on the show in the morning.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's all it was. It's something to talk about on the show for that one day. Right away, Alex Jones and a bunch of those right-wing nuts, just wing nuts, came out with conspiracy theories, and then they don't backtrack. They never say, "Boy, did we get that one wrong?" Boy, it was just a freak accident. Boy, I guess I was wrong for saying World War III had started. None of that. They never ever do that. They just let it hang. Yeah, I fucked up. They don't even say, "Yeah, I fucked up." It's like,
Yeah, I mean that's what they
Mhm.
need. That's what they need, though. They can't have the questions answered because that would fuck up their theory.
right. Yeah. You guys familiar with the Steven Crowder stuff?
Oh, I mean, not anything recent.
You know Louder with Crowder, right? It's Steven Crowder. And he had the tape where he abused his pregnant wife, on 8.5 months pregnant with twins, and he was yelling
Yes.
at her and degrading her and all this stuff. Uh, and that kind of got him off of YouTube, or out of the public eye, and people were shunning him. But now one of his a co-host or whatever is suing him for abuse about the penis shit, putting his penis on his shoulder, and you don't want your boss putting his penis on your shoulder, whatever, and saying, "Hey, look over here," and you look and there's a cock in your face. So he's suing him over that, but now people are defending him. On People on the right are trying to come up with a defense for him, saying that this guy Jared Monroe is the guy's name, is in collusion with his Crowder's ex-wife, trying to, extort him for money and all this stuff. You can't get we saw it. There was a videotape, not an edited videotape, but a full-length videotape of him beating down his wife. The guy is not. We've had Dave Landau on the program, who basically talked about the abuse of Crowder and all that stuff. They all signed an NDA. But so he's just a phony, and I think it's just a bad idea to get on the Steven Crowder defense team bus, because in the end, he's just going to be exposed for the phone. Guy had fucking fake pecs put in while his wife was giving birth to twins. He went into the hospital for supposedly life-threatening surgery, and the life-threatening surgery he was having was fake pecs put in because lifting weights was not helping. He couldn't do it. He couldn't really do it the real way. So to defend that guy,
Well,
that's the,
yeah, you always know someone's a good person when all the pictures of them they have to have like an American flag somewhat
right,
somewhere
Mhm.
behind them. That's usually a good tell. The
right.
peop
But
the people out there screaming about patriotism, and how much they love their family. They're normally the ones that hate the country and would do anything to fuck their family over.
unbelievable. Now,
Yep.
he's not. You got something, Steven? You-
No, I was agreeing
Oh
100%.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's not defending himself. He's not addressing it himself. But this is the for me the telltale kind of uh, nail in the coffin for this guy that he's not addressing this stuff, but having his co-host sit in his chair and defend him from all this stuff. Like he's too much of a pussy to even come on camera and talk about it. He's got to have somebody else do it as a surrogate. Like I've known Cena all my life, and yes, we show each other our penises, and that's what the defense is. Like, yeah,
It's
it's
such a
common around.
weird defense. Oh, why is it?
Well, he
Why is
showed
it?
me his penis too.
Yeah.
That makes it better, I guess. Yeah.
Now, if I come to your house and I put my penis on your shoulder, you're not going to do the show ever again, are you?
Probably not.
No.
No, I wouldn't think so. And I would
Because at
own up
my
to it.
height, it's always an option anyway. So I
No, yeah,
definitely
yeah,
know.
no. For you, it would be easy. It would be an easy thing. But here's the thing: I would admit to fucking up, and I would say, I probably shouldn't have penis the guy, and I'm really sorry about that. If I ever was inclined to do that.
Well, I mean, he looks like a guy that wouldn't apologize. Like that would be below him. Like I can't apologize for this shit.
Apologize. You're lucky I put my penis on your shoulder.
Yeah,
Right.
it's bizarre.
What?
It wasn't that a song? Put your penis on my shoulder. No,
That was my favorite Muppet song.
I could have sworn that was a song. Um,
They're just trying to up the Clarence Thomas bits ever since that happened.
I could do better than that.
Yeah, come on.
Um,
Make it sexy at least.
yeah, and he had a thing for dressing up in drag, and this guy, Jason Monroe, and him did. The guy who's suing him was his trans lover in a bit that they did. He used to love to do just
Sure, a bit.
dress up in drag. Yeah. And now they complain about drag queens all the time, but for somebody who complained about drag queens, he was sure dressing up all the time, which is very weird.
Shocker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably in his ignorance, he was like, you know what we'll do one day? We'll show these trans people and we'll do
yeah,
a bit. Then he started doing it at home. He's like, hey, I like this. I like this now.
It reminds
yeah.
me of like the jocks in school that would like do really gay things to kids and then make fun of those kids for being gay.
Yeah.
Like,
Someone who,
look at him do that gay stuff. What a gay guy. And then they'd like go home with their best friend and then do gay stuff. Like super normal.
I
Right.
want to see his browser history before they did that bit because he was probably looking up a lot of trans stuff for a week. I'm doing research.
He had to buy it too. I mean, he had to buy women's clothes that fit him. I mean, they don't just sell that everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and his wife don't look like they're the same size. So
Yeah, no.
no.
Tell me how I would wear your panties.
I don't know. Michael Cohen, and because this is Trump's trial date is set for April 15th for this hush money payment. This is a big thing, and it's weird that because people are mad at Merrick Garland, and I understand that completely. Listen, I'm not saying don't be mad at or confused by Merrick Garland stalling the January 6th prosecution to the point where Judge Cannon can now delay it beyond all that stuff is very confusing. But nobody talks about why this case took so long to come to fruition, because this happened in the very early stages of 2016 and 2017, this hush money, when right before Trump was elected, and then shortly after he was elected, all this the crimes that were committed here that Cohen went to jail for, and Trump was named in that indictment as co-conspirator number one. That case is now 9 years old or 8 years old, right? 8 years old. And it took this long for it to come to fruition. And Garland had nothing to do with that. That's New York State. It just, and nobody's talking about that. That baffles me. Like, why did this one take so long? To the point where if Trump fights to delay it and delay it, he can push it back beyond the election. And his whole plan is to, hopefully get elected so he can pardon himself for everything. It-
I,
it-
I really hope it just falls apart in his face, just for karma. I
yeah.
mean, just the sheer fact is karma for him. And like, if it was me or you, we couldn't fucking keep pushing trials back and wasting money on lawyers that you're probably never going to pay back, or wasting a state or a city's money because you can't fucking follow the rules. Come on.
Yeah, no, he talks about unfair, how justice is. No, justice is unfair because anybody else, I shouldn't say anybody else, because you know what, I'll be fair about this. Uh, it goes for powerful Democrats too. These people in power, Hillary Clinton would have been tried for perjury if she was not, if she was just a regular citizen. But she was Hillary Clinton. They weren't going to go down a whole perjury trial with her because she lied in front of Congress. Same is true. More is true of Trump, that any of the things that he's gotten away with, normal people would not have gotten away with. The judge puts a gag order on him, and then he immediately comes out and say, "Fuck the judge and fuck his daughter," and you know what? Fuck you too, and nothing happens. So, like, he's testing the judge, and the judge fails the test, and it's just like rinse and repeat, man. If that were me, I'd be tarred and feathered, and
Yeah. And
put up.
I don't understand why people are not more mad just at that aspect alone,
Yeah,
no matter what party you're part of. I mean, it's Trump and that what Senator Menendez taking gold bars and things like that. Then Clarence Thomas. I mean, that guy's always been dishonest, and he's accepting money, vacations, and guess what? He didn't pay taxes on that.
yeah.
And what those, you remember those celebrities 2 years ago that got in trouble because they were given money to get their kids into college? That was all about because they didn't pay taxes on the money. So why is Clarence Thomas okay just to sit there and do his shit? I
Right.
don't,
No.
I don't understand why people just aren't upset more in
blatant
general.
blatant abuse of power and abuse of riches, and just people just sit by and watch it, and then all
Yeah.
they do is they bitch about it and then wonder why nothing happens. And then on the flip side, they're also supporting very similar people doing the exact same thing and say nothing about it. It's mind-blowing,
Then they,
Right.
and we
then
wonder
they
why nothing changes.
Yeah, then they do something, then they go to court, then they realize it doesn't work the same way because I don't have money. I don't have the means to delay and shit like that.
But this has been Trump's MO for 50 years. I know a guy, when I was a very young man, I worked at a music store, and Trump, it was in Roosevelt Field, Long Island, New York, and Trump was just getting started with his hotels. And he went to this music store owner, music chain owner, and he got a line of credit. Not, he didn't fill out any paperwork, just a line of credit based on his name of the Trump Industries, and bought a slew of pianos for his hotels. And the bill was ridiculous, like $750,000 or something, and he never paid it and refused to pay it. And you see the shit in his campaigns all the time, like, "Oh, I found a scratch on a light. Don't pay the lighting bill," that kind of stuff. Or, "The lights are too bright. Don't pay the bill." He just decided not to pay the bill, knowing that this guy did not have the wherewithal to hire lawyers to go up against his lawyers, and just delay it and delay it. Guy finally died waiting to try to collect this money, and Trump just wrote it off like, "Fuck yeah, I got over on that one." And that's just one of a million stories with Trump about how he did that. He just went in and would say, "I'm Donald Trump. My name's in the paper. I'm rich. Everybody knows I'm super rich. Just give me a line of credit." Takes the shit and says, "I'm not paying. I'm not paying." And then just delays it and delays it and delays it until the guy finally either goes broke, bankrupt, or whatever, can't afford the lawyers anymore, and he's done. That's been his MO. So
Yeah, there are lots of stories out there like that.
yeah, lots of them.
So
But reason I brought up the Cohen Stormy Daniels thing, the trial's supposed to start April 15th. A supposed whistleblower comes out and says this is all something cooked up by Michael Avenatti. Remember Michael Avenatti? I knew that guy was a fucking slime bag crook right from the beginning. He was going to run for president. He was Stormy Daniels' lawyer, handler, manager. But he says people close to him revealed that Michael Cohen was having an affair with Stormy Daniels since 2006 and cooked up this plot for 10 years in advance to get Trump to run for president so that he would pay her off so that they would have something on him. Think about the advanced planning that 10 years, we're going to take 10 years to convince somebody to run for president so we could fuck them over on something that I will go to jail for. And what did Cohen supposedly get out of it? Nothing. All he got was jail time. It's not like he got rich in this at all. And then not going to get a settlement. This is a criminal case. It's not a civil trial. He's not suing for anything. It just makes no fucking sense. And the whistleblower is anonymous, supposedly connected to Avenatti. And why wait till 2 weeks before the trial to actually come out? And nobody knows about it. But it's all over Twitter. And of course, when you start to spread these things, people will just believe in them without doing any, any olive branch that they can grab onto that says, see, he was talking about the auto industry.
The proof is always out there. You just have to look for it.
I love it.
I'm surprised more people in that organization, the Trump organization, haven't wound up dead someplace, kind of like the Boeing whistleblower. It's really surprising.
I just think it's crazy how obvious hitmen are at work and people just don't seem to care.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing to me. I don't get that at all.
I don't know if they don't care or is it just people feel like they can't fucking do anything anyway because these people are going to do what they want.
Yeah.
It's probably a good mix of the two, probably.
Yeah. Who knows? It doesn't make a lot of it doesn't make any sense because you got one guy running and all he says is that everything is bad, end of days, put me in so I can get out of my legal problems, and that's it. It's like there is a country here, buddy.
Right. And this fucking false page. People will say, I just love the country. I just love, nobody fucking really, you don't care about solving the problems because clearly the border thing, there was a solution there. And because it wouldn't, in Trump's mind, it wouldn't help him win the election if they passed the border bill. And the Border Patrol was all for the bill. They backed it. But in Trump's mind, it wouldn't help him win. So let's block it. And, if you really care about the country, that's a telltale thing right there.
I think eventually that's going to come back to haunt them. I really think it's going to come back to haunt them.
No, nothing's going to come back to haunt him. The only thing that could and I think honestly, if Trump loses the election again, he's just going to say it was cheated and plan on, if he lives another 4 years, he'll plan on running again. And there are certain just sycophants who are just going to suck up to him and say, yeah. And the MAGA party is dragging the Republican Party down into the sewer. And the Republican Party can't seem to say, because I know they want this, the old school Republicans definitely want a divorce from the MAGA party, but that means that neither one of them, in that case, neither one of them win, and it's democratic rule for.
No, I don't even buy that shit anymore. That these old school Republicans is like, I guess they do, but they claimed, but they've had plenty of time and plenty of opportunities to sacrifice the pig. And they never did.
Right.
They never sacrificed the pig. And it's like, that just shows your true colors. You're desperate you have no policies, and the only thing you got is like end of days. Like
The
there's
only contra to that is that a lot of them are resigning. A lot of them are just I quit. I mean, basically, I don't have the balls to call it out and say, he's just a corrupt motherfucker, and let's get off this fucking just slice the fucking cancer out and rebuild the party. They don't have the balls to say that. They're just saying, I'm just taking.
why does someone just come out and say, "Hey, just remember this guy was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Go watch the video."
Yeah. No, what I think the winning way to totally defeat Trump. And listen, when I say defeat Trump, I mean end up with 4 more years of Biden. I'm not a Biden supporter. I never liked Joe Biden going back to 1980, and the original seeing him in congressional hearings when he was trying to take Reagan down. I never liked him because I always felt he was a dishonest fuck to begin with. So, no, but we could survive 4 more years of Joe Biden if he's alive.
Yeah.
But we can't survive Trump declaring himself dictator, king, or whatever. The country won't survive that. It will be the end of the America as we know it. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's already been proven you can't run a country like a business, and because people don't work that way. It's not like a regular commodity that you're building and sending out the door. And
Right.
that he can't even run his own business. So what would make you think that he could run a country?
I just thought it was.
Go ahead.
I always thought it was nuts how everyone was like, "This guy's gonna save our country. He's the best businessman in the world. Best businessman in the world." I'm like, how many times has he filed bankruptcy for billions?
Right. Oh,
Granted, he's rebuilt it, but who cares how many times
their excuse, their counter to that is, well, it's just a sound business move, man. Business people do it all the time. No, business people do it all the time when they're in distress and worried about losing their homes and stuff. That's when they do it.
But it's like nobody translates. Let's see how he runs a business and let's see how he does it to the country. Because can we really do that to the country that many times?
The guy ran a casino. The house never loses. The guy owned a casino and lost millions.
Yeah. I know that. That's my point. Like, how do you lose as a casino owner?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah, you don't. And you think
how
I'm
do you
skimming
fail
off the top?
At cheating and losing?
You think I'm skimming off the top? I talked to Barzini. I can make a deal with him and keep my casino.
Everyone knows your first 3 bankruptcies are mulligans.
Yeah, but here's the strategy that would win it for feeble old Biden is it should be on a loop that just play a tape of Trump taking credit for the vaccine, which, by the way, is the best thing he did as president. He should be taking credit for it, and he has. He's all over. There's plenty of tapes of him taking credit for the vaccine and the speedy development of the vaccine. That turns off 60 to 70% of his support because they're total anti-vaxxers. So you play the Trump taking credit for the vaccine, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. saying how he will, never have a vaccine again. Everybody get polio. Let's all have measles. Whatever he says, and just keep playing them back to back on a loop forever and ever. Kennedy is the anti-vax guy. Trump taking credit for the vax. All those 70% of Trump supporters will jump on RFQ. Now that could end up with RFQ being president, but that could be almost as bad. He won't declare himself king, but he is definitely a fucking Fruit Loop.
Do you think, if he loses and Biden wins again, do you think those people are going to show up again to the Capitol? Or maybe you'll get some, or maybe it'll be like, less than 10.
No, go ahead. You
part of me is scared that people are going to be like, all right, we saw how it went last time. Let's just double or triple it up and let's go at it again. And then the other part of me is like, maybe they're going to be smart enough to be like, listen, the people that got caught really got fucked. Let's not try this.
That's the one.
And I'm hoping that's the one that prevails. Yeah. But people are not. Groups of people are not smart. So
You
No.
it
see
still
these people
scares me.
crying on
you're
their
right.
way to prison, though, on Twitter every day. Another one of them is on their way to. All I did was, I'm going to prison for not believing that the election was legit. No, you're not going to prison for not believing. You're going to prison because you went and stabbed the cop in the eye. So
Yeah.
let's get real about it. You know,
Or like,
Then
yeah,
your friend's
or
in trouble because she shit in Pelosi's office.
right?
yeah, or trespassing on federal land. Yeah.
You know, the big things.
Chavola saying you talk a lot about you're in Trump's mind, like you're in his head and know what he's thinking. I talk about exactly what he says on Twitter every day, and you don't even follow him on True Social. So shut the fuck up, dude. Really. If you don't know what he's saying, don't tell me I'm in his head assuming what he's thinking. He tells you directly what he's thinking. He tells you he wants a dictatorship. Oh, only for a day. Only for a day. Yeah, you can't. That's not the way dictatorships work. You don't declare yourself dictator for a day. Oh, now I don't want it. Give me a fucking break with your fucking nose up your Trump's ass bullshit.
Well,
If you
when he was in office, they couldn't even pass an infrastructure bill because his soft back and his weak mind couldn't handle some criticism, so they went off on something else. I mean, it's just kind of like the border. I mean, Trump is great at running away from things, but that's about it. He doesn't fight for anything except for McDonald's. If you put some McDonald's in front of him, then he'd probably fight you.
Or a Coke.
Yeah.
right.
With his stiff fingers and the way that he stands, because
The way he drinks water like this,
Right.
yeah.
Well, the whole thing about in his mind, he fucking tells you flat out exactly what he's thinking every step of the way. It's not fucking conjecture. Not saying, oh yeah, I think I'm afraid of Trump. Bullshit. Listen to what he says. Go on True Social. Follow his fucking tweets every day. His fucking manic, paranoid tweets every fucking day. Now, just yesterday, he was talking about what he's running on is healthcare. I swear to God, this is what he said. He said, I'm running on healthcare. I'm going to tear down so-called Obamacare and build back something better. He said that every week for his entire presidency. It's going to be in 2 weeks. It'll be in 2 weeks. We got a healthcare plan that's coming out better than Obamacare, and it's coming in 2 weeks. And it never came. An infrastructure plan, 2 weeks.
Well,
It never came.
he's a fan of the movie The Money Pit. That's what it is. It's like everything is 2 weeks. When's this going to be done? 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
But and I'm just going to address Chavola again here on this. He's a guy who has said to me, I'm not a Trump supporter, but you can't criticize Trump without Mike feeling like he criticized his father or his mother. Oh, don't talk about Donald Trump. He's a fucking politician, you fucking idiot. Plain and simple. He's not your friend. He would do nothing for you. He doesn't care about America. Neither does Joe Biden or any other fucking politician. But that's the case. I can fucking criticize anybody because I don't fucking worship anybody. You got your nose up his ass, but you don't have the fucking courage to say I'm a Trumper. You say, I'm not a Trump supporter. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. That's fucking weak. Grow a fucking pair and say, yeah, I'm a hardcore Trumper, man. I love Donald Trump. No matter how fucking stupid he is or how far he drives me off the cliff, I'm with him all the way. Say it. Don't fucking come out and give me this fucking, I'm not a Trumper bullshit. Thank you very much. I'm off the fucking rant now.
Yeah. I mean,
for the
I
people
can't-
in the back.
I can't imagine how like the debates are going to be, because all it's going to be is him whining like, this is bad, and Joe's going to be sitting there like, are we actually going to talk about anything? Are you going to just sit here and bad?
Right. Yeah. So yesterday, getting off of the Trump stuff, I get sick of fucking even thinking about it. But yesterday, I did start to do I have some reels out there about the Alan Placker, Rudy Giuliani, Long Island serial killer connection. And I just asked AI to do me a short, and AI wanted no fucking part of that. Like, I'm not gonna go too deep in this. I'm just gonna say, did you know there are some theories that Rudy Giuliani and Alan Plaka are tied to the Long Island serial case? And for more, stay tuned for more. That's all it would do. It wouldn't get into the actual details of it. And one day, it's because it's an exhaustive fucking thing. I'm going to get into the exactly what factual evidence there is that fucking Alan Plaka. There is no doubt about this. Alan Plaka is the vice president of Rudy Giuliani's company. He is Rudy's friend since junior high school. He was the priest who married him his first time, annulled his first wedding, then married him again. They are seen as inseparable. Everywhere Rudy goes, Alan Plaka is in the background somewhere. He was a priest who was in charge of the Rockville Center Diocese, who was credibly accused of raping 16 boys, but it was beyond the statute of limitation, so he was never charged with that. But as head of the diocese, he also covered up for all the priests that were raping boys in that diocese. It's a whole long thing, but basically when he was in Massapequa Park, Rex Heuermann, the accused Long Island serial killer, was 12 years old when his father died, and adopted Al Plaka, who was the priest in his parish, as a father figure, and spent all day and all night with Alan Plaka. This is the Long Island serial killer. Spending all the time with Rudy Giuliani's best friends growing up, and then there's a whole detail of their relationship while he was a young man. Then Plaka gets the Rockville Center Diocese. Rex Heuermann's aunt becomes Plaka's secretary and lives right next door to him. And the boy is visiting Plaka all through his childhood in Rockville Center while he's getting these priests off, and while these allegations of raping young boys are. So what are the chances that he was raping young Rex, his little protege? I mean, yeah, that's conjecture, but the relationship is fact. And then it goes further into when he becomes a young man, and Rex is in his already in his murdering MO, and he's still friends with Plaka. And some of the bodies end up on Plaka's property on Fire Island, or Rudy's property that Plaka was staying at. Some body parts, a leg, a head. I mean, what are the chances of that? We knew nothing about it. Shannon Gilbert, when she's running, she is in the background. You can hear voices saying, and this is part of it. They're not considering Shannon Gilbert an actual part of the case. She was an accidental death who just happened to be running in the marsh in Gilgo, found with her pants off. Her pants accidentally fell off while she was running towards the lighthouse, and severed up in pieces and all this stuff. But her 911 tapes, you can hear a voice that sounds like Alan Plaka in the background. Now, they haven't done because it's so far in the background, you can't do a real analysis of it. But there are more than one person chasing her. And beyond that, it just goes so fucking. It's a 2-hour show in itself for me to delve into all this stuff. But it's funny.
Sounds interesting as shit, though.
Yeah,
oh my
right?
God.
Yeah.
I could sit through that. I think I was about ready to go get some popcorn, man. I was like, let's go.
And it's also good to know that serial killers lose things too. Like, where did I put this gun?
Right.
I lose my keys. He loses a head. It's a common thing.
Absolutely. And part of this thing is people assume that serial killers are really smart and trying to be really careful about this stuff. When half the time they're not. They're fucking careless as fuck with what they do. They're in a panic. I chopped somebody up. Now I got to get rid of them. Where do I get rid of them, and how do I get rid of them? And just sometimes they're just fucking lucky. Sometimes they're just fucking lucky. But Karen Vergata, one of the victims, was at Rex Heuermann's house, and she called 911. And she was being gang raped by a bunch of people. And there is conjecture that Rudy Giuliani was at that party. It was an orgy at Rex Heuermann's house in Massapequa Park. Karen Vergata called the 911. She was seen at the window banging on the window by neighbors saying, "Get me out of here." The police showed up, and somebody of high detail with the New York City plate, police department plate, pulled up and talked to the Nassau County Police, and the cops left her there. She ended up dead. I mean, that's what while Rudy was mayor of New York City. Yeah. So
That's
there's
some
a whole
movie shit,
right.
and that's real life. Like,
Right, but very
Oh.
few people. There's very few people want to even touch any of this conspiracy theory. Now, given the nature of conspiracy theories, like they're quick to say a boat hit a bridge and it must be a terrorist act and World War III has started. But something like that, none of these conspiracy theorists want to even touch this stuff. There is a couple of guys and a couple of sleuth websites that have, really dug deep into it and drawn all the lines, together. But it's just amazing. One day I'm gonna have to take all that time. Um, what is Chevolo saying now? I call you on the casino. I see you don't mention the facts. What are the facts? The facts are that he owned a casino that he fucking went bankrupt on. That's the fact. You got something that said, oh well, there's a good reason for that. No, there's no good reason for that. The reason is he was grifting money off his own, like Mo Green or Bugsy Siegel, basically running a corrupt empire and using bankruptcy to escape.
Yeah,
even if you watch the Netflix The American Dream about Donald Trump, it even admits in there how ridiculous some of these ventures were and how they went bankrupt. And he even admits to how he went bankrupt on that exact casino. So it's not even just like a thing. He said it from his own mouth, not even
yeah.
typed.
And you should also let him know that you can take bets at mybookie.com on his next bankruptcy, whether it'll be in the next year or 2 years.
Yeah.
Or Giuliani's next victim.
Here's the ridiculous excuse making, or the rebel, the showboat making gambling legal in surrounding states had nothing to do with it. Have you heard of Las Vegas? Because Las Vegas was the place where gambling was legal, and then every other state around there has illegal casinos. Half the states in the country, Las Vegas is still thriving. None of those fucking guys are going bankrupt with casinos. And matter of fact, they're thriving more than ever. The more casinos open up, the better Las Vegas does. And none of the other bankruptcy, only Trump did. Get a fucking grip with your fucking Fox News spoon-fed, retarded fucking talking points, man. Oh, yeah, Showboat Casino. Oh, yeah, you know what? We got casinos here, too. Vegas is still fucking pumping out money like it's like a mint. Give me a fucking break, dude. Put a little thought into your fucking arguments before you come up with them. Oh, my God. Fucking casinos. Let's go. Let's move on again. I fucking should just fucking put them on silent. You guys have do you have a mantra?
Don't go to jail is something I repeat to myself frequently.
Oh, you actually have one, then yes, you have. You've thought about, like, a mantra is something you say to yourself over and over and over again until you can make yourself believe it's true. Is that what is the actual definition of a
I
mantra?
have no idea.
Isn't it? Yeah, maybe it's more like an inspiration for you.
A word sound repeated and to aid concentration in meditation. So yeah, I don't meditate. Obviously, I mean, om. But so sitting there, so you have to come up with a mantra to repeat. That's an awful long mantra, this guy. As where is it? As above, so is beneath, below. Whatever. What is it? As above, so below. As within, so without. It's kind of like a George Harrison song.
Yeah, almost.
How about a present motto? Do you have a motto? Do you have a motto?
I don't think I do. No, not really.
I don't think so.
present model. His present model is I do what I feel like and trust anything is possible. Now, this anything is possible stuff. Stephen, I know you're our resident positivity guy. Is anything possible? Anything possible?
See, now this is where the realist in me kind of kind of shows its head. As much as I'd love to think and wish anything is possible, I'm not gonna like in 10 minutes get up and start breakdancing.
Nah.
It's not a thing I
But
can
maybe
do.
15 minutes. Maybe
I've
15.
been waiting 33 years of thoughts
That's a
and prayers, and nothing's ever happened. So
I'm gonna play the role of positivity guy. Now, you don't know that tomorrow they won't come up with a medical solution that can heal you and make you all. So
you are 100% right. Is it possible at any point in my lifetime? Potentially, but
yeah,
I'm also
no,
not going to poop diamonds. That can never happen.
unless you drink enough tequila. Now, I read somewhere that you can actually turn tequila into diamonds. I don't know if that's true either. But this anything is possible stuff. This is the Willie's realm of. He actually had said that a couple of times that anything is really possible. It's too much to consider that. Now, is Santa Claus real? Is that possible? Is
There
the
is a
Easter Bunny
man
real?
who goes by the name of Santa Claus at the mall once a year.
Yeah. Saint Nicholas, I think, was a real person, but the fact that it really be hard to travel around the world in one night delivering presents kind of makes that impossible. Um, Kelly says she can.
I think it's almost more possible than Black Santa.
I can turn tequila into bad decisions. That definitely has happened to me.
I was trying to make a GD joke, but he's not here, so it doesn't hit the same.
No, that's the time when you do it because he'll never hear about it unless Ron Kane rats us out. Speaking of black guys who are not here, Tavares Smith is canceled for tomorrow. He's got travel plans, so I won't have a black comedian on, as I promised Chris, the pizza prank guy, I would tomorrow. So sorry to let you down there. Yeah. So anyway, anything is possible, but what's not possible is the fact that I really truly scored in the top 1% of the nation in the scholastic attempt on basically good terms. I just I just filled in stuff and
Yeah.
it just came out. I was stoned and stupid and there you go. He's a genius.
Well,
So
I do kind of have a motto though for comedy, and it's always been like, if they won't let you in the front door, make your own.
oh, I thought you were gonna say slip in the back door.
Yeah,
Uh,
Oh,
that's too
oh,
obvious.
if they won't let you in the front door, climb in through the window.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, speaking of possible, let's talk about becoming a possible rich person with gambling. Through gambling, we were talking about casinos. Let's talk about gambling. MyBookie.com, best place to bet on anything. You don't have to just bet on March Madness. You can bet on the Mets being rained out already tomorrow, because they are. Opening day is rained out tomorrow. So you would have won if you would have bet on that. I think you can bet on the presidential election, quite honestly. And that means if you're Mike Schiavone, you're going to be betting on Trump all the way, even though I don't even like Trump, man. I don't. Anyway, mybookie.com, bet the house, bet the rent, take a second mortgage on your house and go there and just bet.
The experts at MyBookie have created the ultimate NCAA March Madness betting guide to help you make the best bets throughout the tournament. Throughout this betting guide, the pros will go in depth on the best teams, players, and bets throughout the entire NCAA March Madness tournament. 2024 March Madness 85th edition of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Tournament tips off Tuesday, March 19th to Monday, April 8th, 2024. Go to mybookie.com/minddog and get up to $1,000 welcome bonus.
Yeah, you get up to $1,000 welcome back bonus. So I think what that means, and I'm not really sure what that means. So this is conjecture. I think if you deposit $1,000 to bet with. They'll match it, so you automatically get $2,000. But you can't just take that 2,000 without placing a bet. You can't just say, look, I put $1,000 in, they matched it, now I got 2,000 in my account. Take that out. That would be a scam. You actually have to bet the $1,000, and then after you lose that, they'll say, "Here, you got another $1,000. You already proven what a loser you are. You're not going to win anyway. Here's another $1,000 to make you feel like you actually bet something." I think that's so.
Just trying to scam the consumer. Give us free money. That's what we want.
Yeah. Now, all the online stuff is not affecting casinos in Las Vegas. Jeez, I don't know. Competition might not be bad for gambling. That's all I'm
Hey,
just saying.
people still buy porn. People still buy porn, and you can get it free all over the internet.
Mind blowing. That is a
Blows
mind
my
blowing thing.
absolutely destroys my whole brain capacity is how you can go and drop a penny on something that I can pull up an exact video for.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me. None.
And it makes no sense to me how porn sites. I know there are. I don't know how many. If I Google how many porn sites there are, it probably changes daily because probably somebody's coming up with a new one every single day.
It might shut down Google. Like,
Yeah. How many porn sites are there? But there's got to be. I don't know.
Googling
millions of them. I think it's safe to say millions of them, right?
more than 10, less than.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's a lower number than I thought it was.
What do you think?
4.2 million adult websites.
All right, so I was right. Millions. There's millions. So how do they make money? Because they don't charge, right? Or do they charge? You have to pay a membership fee.
Yeah, I mean, some do have memberships, but then they have ads and things like that running.
As I said, I just Googled it. It looks like ad revenue is the biggest driver along with product sales in general.
No, that's interesting. Ad revenue. Are they who's advertising on porn sites? It's just other porn sites, like or sex toy shops.
Sex toys, yep.
Yeah, what else can you possibly sell? You can't advertise like the latest pair of maybe you can headphones. Like on my videos now, I'm adding from Adorama headphone advertisements and microphones and laptops. I guess those they are products that tie into the content that you're seeing on porn sites. So I don't know. But would you want to be?
Cam girls are big. That's another source of revenue.
Oh yeah.
What is?
That's huge.
Cam girls just they're on cams and you tip them and like, oh, I'll take off my top if you give me $20. Then it just keeps us.
How do you know they're not going to blackmail you?
It's weird. It's
can they tape you if you're like on with one of these girls who whatever they do?
Oh no, it's one way.
Yeah,
you're paying to see that girl do things, and she's live.
She's not seeing you.
No, maybe if you pay extra for a different tier,
right? Yeah,
but
there are ways to,
and then she could tape you and then blackmail you with it, right?
It could, but I guess it'd be against her interest to do that because. I mean,
if for me, yes, but not if it's, let's say, Mark Cuban. I'm sorry, Mark Cuban. I don't mean to slur you but if it's somebody like you're doing it, and then you see, oh, it's Fat Cat Rich Man. Let me get this on tape because
now I think Mark Cuban would tell you, listen, I'm smart enough. I would just hire someone to come to my house and her do it in front of me. That's good business.
You would think that, but Christy Brinkley's husband, who was a big-time real estate guy, that's how he got. That's why she's not with him anymore. He was doing that, and I think he did get blackmailed or something. How she got.
I just think people don't care. People don't care. They don't care about any type of risk because you can contact women on Snapchat. Because they have like a premium Snapchat and they can charge you for that. So there's so many different ways to make money. And dudes, they don't fucking care. They don't care at all.
Ron, you sound really well versed in the world of adult content.
Yeah, I'm a degenerate. I got
okay. So you admit to it. Never mind, though. We're good. I was gonna say, as long as you admit to it, we're fine then.
A couple of things now that this kind of segues into while we're waiting for Eric McHugh, Mr. 140 IQ. Uh, this people don't care about what risk. Andy highlighted a story. Andy Andrews highlighted a story yesterday of one of his people in his in his city in Eugene, Oregon, who got arrested for sexually abusing a horse. And now I'm thinking, well, first of all, you talk about risk, but can you? It's like sexually abusing the Rock. I mean, you got to be pretty. A horse is can easily say no, like get the fuck off me. I think the horse consented by not running away. A horse can get away, right? I mean, how do how do you?
As fucked up as it is, I kind of agree with you. I feel like when you're that much bigger than the thing fucking you, if you say no, 100% means no because he can kick you into the neighbor's yard. I feel like that animal's consenting, not only 100%, but probably enjoying it a little bit.
That's
Back
what
to you,
I
Matt.
think. I mean, I hate to admit this,
Such a weird
but
conversation.
I've seen horses ejaculate.
I have too, honestly, though, but I watched a lot of Jackass growing up. So
No, at Belmont Park, we used to walk by the trailers all the time. But listen, the horses are fucking horny things anyway. I mean, and because they would try to get them like the sires hooked up with the mares, and the horses would just fuck fuck her leg and fucking come, like not even in her. Like they would like nerds of of just so fucking horny that I'm gonna fuck a leg and come. So I think horses just, if he wanted to say no, he'd say no. So I don't think it was without consent. And I think that if I were the guy's lawyer, that's what Your Honor, the horse never said no, first of all. And he could have run away at any time. Like he could have and he could have kicked. He didn't kick. I don't know that he didn't kick,
here's the thing. I feel like if you're gonna risk it and it doesn't kick again, that's consent because that thing's gonna kick into next week.
Right.
Yeah, if you remember, like 10, 15 years ago out in Washington State, there was that guy that died because he had a horse fucking him. And this place in Washington State ran like a horse brothel where people would come in and they would like jerk off and fuck the horses. It was their kink. And at the time, it was legal in that state. That's why people would go there.
There's a lot of states where I think it's still legal.
When you say it's illegal, you mean it wasn't illegal because nobody went and said, "I'd like to propose a bill that fucking horses is now legal." What happened was nobody ever took the time to say fucking horses was illegal. It wasn't like they went out of their way to make it legal, right?
Or no, it was there was no law against it. So I mean, and I personally think like if if someone wants to like marry a horse or something like that, let them marry a horse. What does it matter?
I think there's some sanitary issues there, but listen, if anybody who's ever been around horses, the smell is enough to make you not even want to fuck a woman ever again. I mean, it just knocks any kind of sexual thoughts out of your mind. The minute you smell a horse, it's just like,
apparently not for everybody.
Right. Some people get turned on by the smell of a good horse. A friend of mine, you know what? This is a tricky conversation I'm having because a friend of mine just lost her horse. She's grieving a horse. I'm supposed to go do a consultation with her today about some of her tech issues, but I don't know if I can go there because she's mourning a horse. And my wife said, "Yeah, I know that people get really attached to their horses, and when they die, they can. It's like your mother or father, sister, brother, child, whatever." So yeah, fucking horses though. Back in the day of MySpace. Now the Rockin' 45s had a mascot, a kid who I want to say the R word. Just his developmental. He was very slow in development, and he was 30, but had the mind of a 14-year-old. and he was on MySpace, and I was trying to keep him out of trouble because he was he was befriending like S&M mistresses and all this stuff, and I was like, his name is Jason, and I kept saying, Jason, you got to be careful with these women. They're going to take your money. They're going to come and they're going to really hurt you. You can't because he would show up at a mistress's house and she'd whip him. And like he wasn't prepared for that. He's just so desperate for sex. But one woman that he was friends with, a local woman, I would check them out. And this woman, her name was Robin. I don't remember her last name, but she was from this area. And all her pictures on MySpace. Now she wasn't even hiding this, naked with horses like underneath riding a horse from underneath. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, woman? She said, I hope my pictures didn't freak you out too much. Freak me out. You're fucking a horse out in the open. And that's not the most disturbing thing to me. The most disturbing thing, because there were no remote cameras. And I'm talking in the days of MySpace. Somebody was 20 feet away taking this picture for you. Somebody was like, yeah, I'll be your photographer for that. What a fucking sick world we live in. And she had hundreds of these, and nobody was even monitoring it on MySpace. So it's a weird, how anything.
So crazy.
I just imagine the guy taking the picture is like, well, I didn't think I'd be doing this today.
4 years of college for this.
See, I don't see. I hear what you're saying. I don't. But if that were me or any normal person, I'd get the fuck out. I wouldn't be doing that. It's the minute she said, "I'm going to take my clothes off," I'd be, "Oh, that's cool." And then she said, "I'm going to go fuck the horse." And I went, "No, I got a plane to catch. I got someplace to be." I just remembered.
I have taxes to do. I gotta go.
How did you know this was my thing?
I think whoever was taking the pictures signed up for that.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, I mean, you can't break that to somebody right when they show up. Listen, I gotta fuck a horse. I need you to take pictures.
I gotta fuck a horse.
How do you
listen? I got a hankering for horse.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna.
Horses in Bohemian Grove.
I wasn't.
They're
gonna,
kinks.
But horse just. And now I gotta fuck a horse. I can't help it.
You actually, I know that you don't really hear a lot about bestiality anymore. Like, there's a fair. They have like an annual fair that comes to the city of York, and they like a long time ago. A long time ago. Every year there'd always be like some guy that got caught fucking a sheep every year, and that went on for a bit. Then now, for probably a good 2 decades almost, there's been no sheep fucking going on.
I'm just trying to think of the radio commercial. Come on out to the big bestiality fair on the fairground in New York, Pennsylvania State Fairgrounds this weekend. There'll be plenty of sheep for you to fuck. Admission is $20, free parking.
Check out our hot bull mastiff area.
Wow. No, but I just want to point out something to the audience. The guy who just got back from Florida is saying you don't hear much about bestiality anymore. Obviously, he wasn't paying attention, or he was just going to his gigs and back to the hotel room and not looking to his left or right. Because people fuck alligators down there, which is a whole new level of bestiality. That's like reptilia or whatever.
They're touching the cloacas.
Yeah.
We stayed with my when we were in the Tampa area, we stayed with my wife's cousin. We were staying there, and her neighbor had 15 alligators as pets. And we went over there. He had like this enclosure built. He had like it's got like a little pond there, and there's 15 fucking alligators. And you get near them, they start hissing at you. Some of them start getting really aggressive. It's like, how the fuck would you even fucking alligator?
Yeah. So it looks like Mr. 140 IQ can't figure out the time zones or has left the planet. I don't know. His website is still up, but his publicist warned me that he didn't get the message through them, so I should send it directly to him. Let me check my email to see if he if he wrote back to say, you know what, I heard you talking about fucking horses. I ain't coming on that show. Or I heard you talking about my positivity and my mantra. I'm not. No, nothing from him. That's a shame. I did really want to have a wait, a couple more. No, not him, not him, not him. I did want to ask him about crypto. You guys into crypto at all?
I dabbled, but I'm not super knowledgeable
How do
on it.
you? What do you
No.
mean dabbled? You put money in it? Did you create a wallet and all that stuff?
No, I used one of the several apps that were available kind of when Dogecoin was real big. Um I think I made a total of maybe like $45 on it. But that was putting in and out hundreds of dollars for like 6 months, buying and selling, and it was just it was nah,
My
wasn't my
argument
thing.
against all the crypto stuff is pretty much well countered by people who say, well, you know, this is really just as imaginary because all this is fucking paper that people believe has value to it, but there's really no value to it. I mean, there's nothing behind it. There's no gold standard. There's nothing backing this up other than the government says, yeah, use that. Use this. Go play Monopoly. Do whatever you want. I mean, really, there's no difference between that and Bitcoin. But when it comes to NFTs and all this stuff, it's like NFTs is non fucking touchables. It's you want to. It's something that's not real. And I have a big problem with giving, you know, my hard-earned money or my hard-earned imaginary money for completely imaginary money. It doesn't make any. And maybe I'm just too much of a simpleton to grasp the whole concept.
Are NFTs still a thing? Because you don't really hear about people really offering them anymore. Or
Except unless your name is Trump with the cards and stuff. The
I mean, that's just desperation. I'm talking about like real business
I
people.
don't hear any people talking about NFTs for sale except for the guest that's not here, which I wanted to talk to him about because
I think once people started figuring out like screenshot, the NFTs kind of died off.
this is from his website.
Yeah.
Reserve X is our breaking NFT token gating platform where exclusive meets enhanced access control. Let me read that sentence again and if you guys could break it down for a guy with a 40 IQ, me. Reserve X is our groundbreaking NFT token gating platform where exclusivity meets enhanced access control.
So it basically sounds like it's an access point for people to sell their NFTs and for you to have very exclusive access to that very specific item with safeguards to keep it from being copied and all that.
All right. Now, Reserve X NFT technology lets brands control access to exclusive products, content, or features. I'm guessing, like you might have a multi-tiered product out there where if you buy in at this level, you get to see this playing. I don't know, this playing card, or if you buy in at an extra level, you get to see him with his dick hanging out. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something.
I hate this tier shit that everything is now. Everything is a tier that it costs you. Like the first tier, if you want this, then guess what? If you want 2 extra pictures, go to the third tier, and so on and so forth.
I'm battling with a company right now. I'm trying to get a refund from. What is this? Uh, uh, the company that sells an AI video editor. Now they're selling this thing as a one-time purchase thing, and it will take me off of having to pay in video $60 a month or whatever I pay them, $50 a month in video for an AI service that will just if I ask it to do a video on Rudy Giuliani, Al Placa, and the Long Island serial killer, it just spits one out, keeping really soft shells. But so it says that with this thing, this AI tool, one-time purchase, and you can forget about all those apps you pay for, you know, Synthesia to write scripts and all that stuff. And so I did it, and then it was a small one-time. I think it was $17 to buy it. And as soon as I bought it, I started getting the upsells for complete and full access to this. Another $37 a month. No, thank you. For this tier, another $67. No, thank you. And it was 19 pages of this upsells. You know what? When you told me one time thing, I'm thinking I get the product for that one-time purchase. Not you're going to sneak in these extra tiers after the purchase. I want a full refund, and I've been going back and forth with them for about a week now, saying, yeah, I'll just stick with my $60 paying in video every month rather than just go through it, because I don't like the way you bullshitted me about this. If you would have told me up front it's $97 for this and you got full access and no bullshit, upsells after the fact, I probably would have bought and wouldn't be asking for my refund. But I still haven't got my refund and all. They give you a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. All right, I want my money back. Oh, well, we got some questions. Well, there's no questions asked.
Well, I mean, while we're on NFTs, I mean, how do you feel about like owning physical media versus just like, digital media like that?
I don't know.
Because like
Above
I'm
my
sure
pay grade.
Steven, I'm sure you play video games, and this is like a kind of a bone of contention with video games is whether or not you should just do it digitally or actually own the physical copy. And for me,
I
yeah, go ahead, Steven.
Oh, okay. So as far as the video games go, I would say I really miss the thrill and excitement of going out and buying the game, collecting it, maybe trading it in when I'm done with it to get some money off the next game. I miss all of that. Um, do I like the idea of buying a game digitally that they could always revoke at any time? No. Um, but I think with the services that they offer where you can download any game you want for just a strict monthly fee, I like that route better than the other two because it saves me a lot of money.
Subscription models will let
Yeah.
you access more games, but you don't own any of them. Is that
Correct. So for me, it's a catch-22 because the collector in me really misses the physicality, the buying, going out and buying it, the midnight releases, all of that.
Well, I kind of feel the same about
Convenience is,
Adobe products. Where now I have this Creative Suite. Uh, I have access to all the Adobe Creative products for $50, $49.95 a month. Where I used to Photoshop would cost like $495 to buy Photoshop, but I'd get a disc and I'd own that and I could put it on all my computers and all that, or I could, if I were really unscrupulous and not a good guy, give it to my friends or sell it to my friends. That kind of but I like that you own it, because now if I don't pay for if I decide fuck that, I'm out of all those products. I can't just say I don't want Photoshop anymore. Stop billing me for that, because then I lose Premiere, I lose all the other stuff that I use. I don't know, and it's forever and ever, and you can never give it up, like even for a month, and say I'm not going to use it this month. I don't want to pay for it this month. No, that's not the way it works. You have to keep paying forever and ever and ever. I don't like that. I definitely don't like that. Well, that's the world we live in. So I mean, there's no use in complaining about it. Is there a use? Is there a use in complaining about it? Will it change anything? I think for them, it's a gold mine. For the people who run those companies who do it, they just figured out, yeah, recurring revenue is the way to go. This idea of keep on.
My frustration is like I get, like Steven's right, having access to some of those services where you can play all these different games is fine. My issue is like when you do buy a game digitally, why am I basically almost paying the same price at from the store? If I'm going to buy it digitally, it should be a lot cheaper because you don't have to pay for distribution. Yeah, I mean you got to hold it on a server or something like that, but you're not paying for the logistics and moving the physical copies, keeping them in stores, carrying inventory.
The other stuff is if your internet goes down, you can't use it, right?
Yes, that's the
like
other.
when you had a hard copy.
That is the big thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that's kind of why, like with Apple Music, for example, you have the subscription side of it, but you can also actually download the music to the phone. So if you lose internet connection, you still have full access and usability. But they can still revoke it as soon as they have network access, though. So you're still not completely safe.
I don't want to slander my non-guest here. We have a no-show in case you're just tuning in. Yes, another no-show. But for a 30-year-old entrepreneur, making money in the crypto world and NFTs and all this stuff, it doesn't bode well that you're not with your publicist anymore. You stop doing this stuff, and then you don't show up. It's kind of like maybe the positivity thing is not working out for you so well. This whole, I don't
Maybe
know,
he's just really positive he's not coming to the show.
or he's not coming to any shows because he dumped his publicist, meaning that like he's not following through with any of the commitments he made. I don't. Again, I'm not
Maybe he went home on
libeling him.
Hilltop.
I'm just saying it smells like there might be some bullshit involved right from the very start. And so anybody could put up a website and say, I have 140 IQ and I'm a 30-year-old billionaire. And
It almost sounds like he's trying to make himself sound like McAfee.
Yeah, right.
Dumps everybody, disappears.
I almost had John McAfee on right before he died.
Oh, that would have been
He
great.
did
I met him once.
You did?
I did. When he ran for Libertarian Party for the presidential nominee, I was running for county commissioner at the same time. We met at the convention.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very weird dude. Now
Super weird dude.
When I almost had him on, I had a porn star on. I think I'm trying to think of her porn name. Her real name is Candace Horvax. Eva LaRue, Eva Lovia, Lovia. Now she was interviewing him, and I watched that interview. She interviewed him from his jail cell in not Guatemala, wherever Caribbean place he was at, somewhere in the Caribbean. He was in a jail cell being held, and that's where he eventually killed himself, like a couple of months later. But she was interviewing him, and he was this close. I mean, as close as you can get to the camera with these dark sunglasses on. Like, wow, this is really creepy. But the ultimate conspiracy theorist and paranoid guy, a very weird dude. But he said yes, and then he killed himself. Would you come on the show? Sure, I'll come on the show. And then he offed himself. Come on.
He's like, I can't do this show. I'm done.
Now, I'm certain that hasn't happened with tomorrow's guest, because he wrote me an email to say he's not coming. And Steven's having a conversation with himself in the private chat. Oh, no. You guys are having a conversation.
Yeah.
Why don't you have that conversation right here, right now?
Well, I didn't want to interrupt you with that.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. I'm like, what the fuck? Steven's talking to himself? He's asking himself questions and then answering it? I don't know.
You brought up McAfee, then I just went cuckoo also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rogan had a piece. Now, I never would have the opportunity to fucking set Joe Rogan straight on this shit. That he's talking about RFQ, and he's talking about the Democratic Party and how they don't really care about democracy, because if they did, there would be a primary with RFQ, and a real primary between RFQ and Joe Biden, and they just want a guy they can control like Biden. Now, first of all, I don't think I'm on the record as saying I'm not a fan of Joe Biden, but I don't think anybody is pulling his strings. I think he is being who he wants to be. He always has been who he wants to be, whether you like him or not. And I no question, I think he's too old for the job. But I don't think he's being controlled, having the strings pulled by the DNC. I don't think that. But all that aside, he's saying the Democratic Party would not give RFQ a shot because they just want somebody to control. Absolutely not true. The Democratic Party does not want RFQ because RFQ is not a Democrat, not in any way. It's like if I want to run with Joe Rogan's endorsement, I'm for making weed a federal crime executable by death. I'm for anybody who does DMT being shot in the balls. This is my platform. You're going to say, no, I don't endorse you. RFQ, his entire platform, is against everything the Democratic Party believes in. How could they possibly put him up as a candidate representing their party. I think as much as I'm against parties, they have a right to decide what they're for and what they're not for. And you can't. It's like me saying, "Well, I'm a MAGA guy, I'm a MAGA guy. And my first thing is get rid of all the MAGA people, lock up the J6 people. If I came out and said every vaccine under the sun should be mandated, but I want to run as Joe Rogan candidate," he would say, "No, you can't run as my candidate. You're not for what I'm for." It's just that simple. But he can't get that through his head. It's a conspiracy. The Democrats just don't want him because he poses a threat to Biden. Yeah, he poses a threat to Biden running as a third party candidate too. It's frustrating that because he's got 12 million daily listeners right now, that people will take everything he says as gospel truth, not argue against it. And he has this platform, and there is nobody who can go back and just push some common sense on him. Yeah, the reason the Democrats don't want RFQ is because he's a libertarian who fails to call himself a libertarian, because that's what he is.
Yeah, I would.
This is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I want to tell you, stop being a bitch. These people want me because of my muscles. Have you seen what I can do? And I'm the youngest out of those two old men. I'm 69. Remember, young, fresh, 69.
John McAfee is still alive with Epstein and Tupac. No.
No,
That's not true. John McAfee is alive. He is with. I don't even know how I was going to go with that. My dog distracted me.
We really,
Okay. Oh.
in the spirit of old time radio, we really need to formalize these impressions you guys do, because they are very good, and we really should come up with like set pre-canned bits where you do it, because you both do those impressions so good that I think we're doing the listenership a disservice by not having real worked out comedy.
I would like to do a call in as Robert Kennedy Jr. I think that could be a lot of fun. It could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Coming back to Andy, because I wanted to talk about this when I talked about the horse stuff. The other thing that Andy presented yesterday was self-proclaimed Christian prophet Dutch Sheets says God told him in a dream last week that the bridge in Baltimore would collapse, and the boat would hit it, and the bridge would collapse. God came to him in a dream and told him about it, and he believed it, but God forgot to tell him what to do about it, really, obviously. Like, a boat's going to hit a bridge in Baltimore Harbor. I guess that God talks like Alex Jones. I'm sorry. But God, I don't know. How do you do God's voice? Anyway, God told him boat was going to crash into the bridge, and the bridge was going to collapse. I got to go. I got some other things to do, so I forgot to tell him what to do about it, like report about it. But why don't you wait until after it happens so you can go on the news and grift for money about it? It's just fucking bizarre. Like, and people will send him money. Yeah. It's like me saying, I have the lotto numbers from last week. They came to me in a dream. Send me $25 and I'll tell you last week's lottery numbers.
I guess desperation knows no bounds.
But people put them on television, and this is the part that really baffles me. Like, I wouldn't even put them on my podcast, which is got pretty low standards, obviously, of people I will put on. I had the guy who wanted to rewrite. What did he want to rewrite? States' rights stuff. But I have basically, if a guest says they want to come on, sure, come on. I would not have this guy on. If this guy approached me and said, I want to tell people that God came to me in a dream about the bridge, and I did nothing. Because God didn't tell me what to do about it. But now I want money. No, you can't use my platform for that. I'll use my platform for that. If anybody's going to steal from my listeners, it's going to be me, not you.
That's fair.
But what is this now? It wasn't CNN that had him on. It's somebody who has a logo that looks like CNN, but not CNN. I don't know what station that is. Anyway, it's just weird that people will allow. I mean, they must be desperate to try to fill time on these days. Like, what do we got for the next half hour? Yeah, slim pickings. I got a guy claiming God told him about the bridge stuff. Get him, and they get him, and he's grifting. I would not allow that. And again, I
Terrible.
have very low standards when it comes to this stuff. God ever speak to you guys about anything? Give you any advantage? Forget about God. Have you ever had a prophetic dream about stuff that came true? No.
No.
No?
I've always ever had deja vu. I've never had anything come to me before it's happened though.
Oh, it's like deja vu all over again. Let me ask you that question again. Are you a big dreamer? Do you guys dream? Or do you have vivid dreams? Not lucid dreams, vivid dreams.
I have vivid dreams. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't really have dreams. I don't think because I smoke. So
So do
You know,
I.
I've
Nobody smoked more than me. Man. I smoked half of Jamaica and most of Mexico.
and
I've
you still have dreams?
All the time, big time.
I do too. I smoke literally daily, and I've never stopped dreaming.
Yeah. Pete Holmes in his bit where he's talking about how you would explain sleep to aliens, and the aliens say, "Well, it sounds pretty boring." He said, "No, my brain makes movies that I'm in." That's pretty much what dreaming is. But
Yeah.
I have vivid dreams, and sometimes I have to say, they make me question. Um, Everything makes me question what the fuck this is really, what this is all about, this whole life thing, what it is, and spirituality and all that stuff, and why the fuck we're here, all that stuff. But when I have like those crazy dreams like that, like I've had dreams that have involved people who've passed and all that stuff, and it feels so fucking real. It's like, wow, man. And I wake up and it takes a good hour to shake it. So I'm not sure that smoking weed has anything to do with your ability to dream. I'm not.
I've heard that people say like when you smoke that usually dreaming doesn't follow. You know, when you sleep. My buddy is an example. He says he's never had a dream high ever. But yeah, never had that issue. Some of the
Ron,
dreams get crazy real.
did you ever experiment with the hallucinogens?
Yeah, I have here and there.
What kind?
Like
L-
acid,
LSD? Yeah, LSD, yeah, acid.
acid, and
Mushrooms?
I've done mushrooms. Yeah.
How about you, Steven? Have you done them? Have you left
Uh,
the realm?
Marijuana and cocaine.
Oh.
That's it.
Well,
Yep.
cocaine must suck for you, though. No.
Cocaine makes me absurdly productive.
Really?
It does. It makes
I
me
would just
laser
think it would be
focus. I can
frustrating.
no, it's not bad. I get a lot done.
Uh,
Yeah.
but
A reason to use cocaine.
Yeah, like I don't get like I don't get jumpy or anything like that. I don't get like my legs don't get jumpy or anything, which is actually nice because I'm sure with people that do cocaine, twitches and jumpiness is a little bit of a thing, but
we
ah,
have
good.
we have a new sponsor. It's called Cocaine. Cocaine available now in West Bend, oh, no, Fort Wayne. I'm sorry, not West Bend.
Oh, Fort Wayne has no shortage of cocaine, but there's a lot of fentanyl going around. So I haven't touched cocaine in like 10 years, but I wouldn't touch it now with fentanyl going around. Absolutely not.
Wow, yeah. I did a lot of hallucinogens, probably more than the average hallucinogen enthusiast when I was young. I haven't since May of 1988 was the last time uh, I really tripped. But there is something to telepathic communication between people who are on LSD. Did you ever experience anything like that when you were experimenting around, like with hallucinogens? Did you ever have a moment where people didn't have to say anything, but you could actually have a conversation?
I can have I laugh a lot
Yeah,
more than anything. I get, I might start saying something and I can't stop saying it because it sounds so funny.
yeah, me too. But I have had a lot of really telepathic type of conversation moments with people, and we talk about it the next day, and it's like, remember when you said that? No, I never said that. I thought that. I thought that somehow you got that, but I never uttered the words. There are different types of hallucinogens. I have never done DMT. I want desperately to try it because the thing I hated most about LSD and mushrooms is that they're fun for the first 2 hours or 3 hours, but then the next 19 or 25 hours or 36 hours are hell. And what DMT promises is 15 minutes. You're in and out, and it's over with, and you see God or you see the little entities that come out and mock you or whatever. But it's over with in 15 minutes, and that's why I want to try it.
That's something that sounds like I'd like to try. Unlike the other ones, I don't want extended.
Yeah,
Yes, no.
I've tried DMT and it's not bad. It works pretty damn good.
Wow.
And it's nice seeing the stuff melt, especially if you're watching something.
So you've had that 15-minute blast off to the rocket ship, and so did you have the entities? Did you have the little dwarfs or whatever people described it? No.
Nah, put some music on and put some trippy shit on the TV, and that was enough.
So no space midgets, huh?
I'm led to maybe you didn't do enough because I'm led most of the people I talk to, you're really incapacitated for those 15 minutes. Somebody else has to monitor you. The only thing you can't get up or do anything. You smoke and you blast off. You have this crazy trip while somebody watches you to make sure you don't die, and then you come
Sounds
back.
nice. That sounds nice, honestly. Like, yeah. Well, you said about like being like 20 hours, 12 hours later, all that shit.
No, that is the worst hell of the LSD spot. Speaking of 20 hours, got to get rid of Govs. It's time to say Gov.
Oh,
Govs